as live. Welcome to Fun University number 100. We are going to be talking about Digi stamps and Vellum. Are you ready for that? Let's get started. Tweet, tweet.
Hi, I'm Mary Gunn. Welcome to Fun University.
Hello, American Fun Founder and Head Professor of Fun University. Welcome. Well, we've got a visitor here tonight. Somebody who hasn't visited us lately. Hello, Kerwin. This is our mascot. Can you say hi? Looky there. There it is. There it is. Look how big he is. Some of you have seen him when he was 7 weeks old. Just a little tiny squeaky baby with big ears. Now he's almost 12-pound. 10, 11 pound? I don't know. Cat with big ears and a really long tail. And he's so sweet. Aren't you? He's real sweet. Class dismissed. I just want to hold my kitty. Okay, we'll go back to school. Okay. All right, that does it. Good old Kerwin. What a good boy. It's cold tonight, so I'm dressed up warm. Yep, it's Kerwin. How about that? He doesn't show up for Craft Roulette anymore. We're way too something. Anyway, tonight, what Fun University is, it's just we're going to do a little bit of teaching on some parameters from Craft Roulette, which was last Friday night. One of the I have it written down. Let's talk, shall we? Had a double tag. That's really fun. It was very similar to how you could use double or the tickets idea. So you can kind of interchange those in the future in your cards. Double tags. Go to craftroulette.live and go on episode 100 or 199 and hit the gallery. And you guys had so many ideas for using tags. It was really good. But if you look at the ticket one, which we had on episode 99, and let your eyes substitute tags instead of tickets, and then look at the tag episode, which was 100, and let your eyes substitute tickets for tags, you'll have a whole new understanding and possibilities of things that you could do. Chocolate plus 3 was our color combination. Chocolate, remember, and we do this a little bit during the show, but when you get chocolate as a parameter, it doesn't mean it has to be literally candy chocolate. It doesn't have to be the main color. It just means you have to use it in the card somehow. So you can go all analogous, you can go all neutral or whatever. But it was really fun what you guys did with it. I thought you did a super job. I loved every one of them. Affection was our element, and I loved how you interpreted it. We have over 120 cards. If you did not go to the gallery, you really go there. So I decided to concentrate on Vellum tonight because we haven't talked much about Vellum. And Vellum is kind of a particular little paper. You can find lots and lots of tutorials on how to use Vellum in many, many ways. So I thought, well, just in essence, I'm going to do a quick lesson, a list. You know how I do my list. If you're not a patron, you're always invited to welcome to join us. But we do have fun supporters and club fun and mentorships. And for those people, they routinely get a little lesson on with that. I like lists, so I make a lot of lists of ideas and things you can do with it, which I will have for you. But tonight we're going to do Vellum and Digi stamps. I got my first Digi stamps from 3 Room Studio, Sandy Boone, our buddy that comes on the show. And I tell you, it was fun to play with. I maybe have a new crush. Let's get down to paper. I've talked enough. Vellum is a tricky little paper in that it is not porous as cardstock is that we're used to. So it's kind of slippery. You can slide on it and you can get a nice smear pretty fast. Things don't dry on it quite as fast, especially like the permanent inks or the those kind of inks. Not the dye-based. Dye-based too. That doesn't dry all that fast. Alcohol ink seems to dry real fast. But It's translucent. You can see through it, which is both beautiful and both a problem because you can also see things that are on the back, such as adhesive. There's so many things that you can learn about that. There's lots and lots of tutorials on that. We're not going to talk about it too much. This was a cute little, I thought this turned out really cute. I had a whole pile of these little rings on my desk. I still do. And I thought I'd pull one out and make a card, and I think it turned out really cute. And then I just grabbed a stencil. A small piece of vellum. Vellum also, okay, so this is, I don't know where I got it. I think I got it from my boyfriend's store, Michael's. And it's not very white. It's kind of a dirty vellum. It's just doesn't sound very good, but it looks a little bit like a dirty vellum. It's not as white as some. So, and then I made a 4-inch, probably 4 1/4. Nope, just 4-inch square card. Look, there's some junk on it. We'll just flip it over, see if it's cleaner on this side. And we're going to put our little circle down, put our vellum on top of it for a quick stencil job. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to be able to center my stencil. So I think this one turned out real pretty on there. So I can center it a little bit better by being able to see that ring. I'm just going to hold it down because it's that fast a project. See some nice people in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. It's super cold here. Ugh. I'm going to start in the center with a lighter blue. I don't know if it matters that you go clockwise or counterclockwise, but I think it does somehow or other. Deep in my crafting heart, I think there must be a little bit, because pressures are different. It must be important somehow. I don't know. It's just, oops, we got Mr. Bot in our, nobody's going to sell us anything here, and don't click on anything that looks suspicious. Just somebody will get him off. Get it off. This is a little darker blue. Oh, there's another one. Thank you, Stephen G. The bot population seems to be quite busy these days. Yay. But just ignore them. They're not people anyway. They're just, I think. Anyway, a little darker blue on the outside. And I think we've got something kind of pretty, maybe. Oh, thank you, Patty Beck. Yes, it was nice of me, wasn't it? It wasn't too bad when I came into the scene. I was a little nervous, honestly, to come back in and see what it was like. But he did a fine job. The Mr. Producer did make, see how cute that is? That's really fast. Mr. Producer did make his card for, he did. It was harder for me to be out of my room and not to come in here and look and see how he was doing, because he didn't want help. And it was odd. It was a little bit odd to be banished from my room. So, and the only thing that I did help him with was he didn't know what to do with vellum. So I did find the vellum. He didn't know where it was. And we got that, just cut and told him a little bit about adding glue. The only thing I really can say about adding glue to vellum and not having it show up, one thing that I have noticed, which is not very fancy, but if you have glue all over the back of the vellum, you don't see it as much. It's just that when you have these little spots of glue, that's really when you start running into trouble, I think. So I don't know that that's absolutely true, but it's kind of true. Try it. Like if you take the adhesive sheets and they fit they fit the entire back of your vellum project, you won't see the adhesive. So if you put a little bit of glue and just experiment, because it's your kind of thing, and it's kind of a fun thing to have references on what glues you use and whatnot. But just spread it out and see how that looks. And then see if it doesn't show up or if it shows up. Just play with it. I don't think it's always been a long time bugaboo in the paper crafting world. Oh no, what do you do? So we don't want that. We don't want bugaboos. But I do know that has been my experience, at least. I think I'm going to do this as if you just cover the whole dang thing. I'm just going to do a little edging, real gentle. I don't want this to be the focal point at all. I just want a little bit of interest. And stencils are so good at that. I'm not sure where I got that yellow on my finger. I've had it there all day. At least since the time I noticed it. You know, when I'm doing something like this too and I want to line it up, sometimes I go ahead and, let's see, if I put it just a little bit below, there you go, where I put it just a little bit below that stencil. See how I can see that, and then just move it up, and then I'll be pretty straight. I'm not going to it's a very subtle thing here, so I'm not going to fuss too much. But there's a nice little 4x4, and then you could die cut this, but I think I'll just trim it. You could also just leave it as is. Or, if you can find your little thing. This stencil was from my boyfriend Michael's. I think he had it in the furniture repair or furniture reconditioning section. You know, he's very vast in his line of crafts. And I certainly wasn't going to be using it for furniture. So, okay, so instead of, see how that, there you go, there's that nasty glue line. But we're going to use that nasty glue line as is and use our glue. So that we won't see it from the top. I don't even know where the top is. Doesn't matter. I didn't line it up. Yay me. So I'm going to just leave that on the outside. One of the nice things that I think that Vellum can do is buffer a busy background to the front for your focal so that you have something in between. And it just softens it. Another thing that I always like doing that I think of with Vellum is baby cards, I think are so lovely. And if you cut it, you can line it up. Oh, that's true too, Stephen. I may not be able to find it again. You could cut some of these up. Some of them are very close though, so it'd be really hard to cut on this one. But you can also do like overlays and have them printed, and that's a very pretty thing. I'm going to show you a layout, an old layout that we used to do, and it turns out kind of nice with an overlay idea. So there we go. There it is with a big old thank you on it and some little bling, and there it is ready for a big old statement and some bling. But I thought I would just give you that idea because if you have some dies that cut out little frames, that's you can do it in any shape. You could do it in any shape. You can do rectangles or special kind of squirrely ones, or squirrely or quirly, either one. But I thought that one turned out kind of a cute card, and I wanted to share it with you. Okay, a couple things about paper. Donna Joe, did you print and cut the stencil using scan and cut? No, I didn't. I got it at my boyfriend's Michael's. There was a whole bunch, and they were very cheap, and I'm pretty sure it was in the furniture refinishing part. Yeah. So it was. I have several of them. They're quite. They're one of those that they are so close that if you wanted to do just a certain kind, you would want to cover it up. The neighbors up. You'd want to cover up the neighbors so that you didn't get either with masking tape or Post-its or something. But yep. Okay. Here's something that shows up. I tried to emboss, dry emboss, and you have to have a certain weight to have this work. This one just ripped my vellum. So, that could be beneficial for a certain look. I don't think it worked here. But that is something to consider when you die cut or put a dry embossing on it. You may want to try it before you have it on a project that you've worked on. So to see if you rip. I don't have any. I think it has to do with the weight of the vellum. That is kind of a cool look, though, how it peels back. I think it has to do with the weight of the vellum. I also put vellum on the back of this, so it would still have that. But that ended up being garbage. So let's go back to a real card. This is my second one. And this is the Digi cut, and I used the huge size. I didn't size it down. I just went ahead and just printed it big, and and decided to make cards out of this, cutting it into smaller pieces. So, Mr. Trim. So I just went ahead and we'll cut this at 4 1/4. So we'll have different looks, and then flip it and cut it at 5 1/2. And then you have these different looks. So here you have a flower part and some leaves. Here's a flower, leaf, I don't know, flower and leaf. You can kind of decide what you want too. It doesn't. What did you want me to hold close to the camera, Steve? You want me this? So you can see if it focuses, or we are trying something new tonight. You guys are our guinea pigs, but isn't that what a university is about? We're trying a focusing thing. I think that didn't have any problem. So anyway, so you have 4 different panels of a huge flower. So I did the same thing with the vellum that I had. I have an ink jet, and it just printed like a boss. Get him out of here. And isn't that pretty? Okay, for those people that do not love ink blending, this is the card for you. This card doesn't need to have a lot of ink blending. You get to embrace being kind of a slobby, bad ink blender. Let's hear it for those that have wonderful inks, have brushes, and don't feel confident. Let's try something. I'm going to grab, which one was that? That one had a lot of pretty flower on it. There it is. We'll grab this little panel. And we're going to, I should have had a piece of paper under here. Let me grab a little piece of cardstock. It does make a difference when you're blending ink, what kind of cardstock you use. It needs to be nice and smooth for some looks. If you want something a little more gritty, you're going to get a different look. Okay, I cut this one at 4 by 5 1/4, and it is going to, so that we will be able to bend this or fold this under just a little bit. All right, okay. So if we have this right about, whoops, get out of there. Get out of jail free. We'll put this base. Is that how I did it? Nope. I used the matching one. I didn't use that. There we go. I used the matching one. That's right. So we have the matching that's just on copy paper, and we have the Vellum. You could print it on cardstock. And we have the Vellum matching flower. So we have two. We're going to line it up. Yeah. Not such a great ink blender. No worries, Jamie. We got you covered here. Let me get some inks out. I was so good, I put my inks away. Why? I don't even have that many. So I did it's pink raspberry. So we're going to do it on this guy with a pink pen or a pink blending brush. Doesn't really matter if you get a hard spot or anything because you're going to have the vellum is going to soften that look. Isn't that nice, the vellum? If Travis and Sandy Boone show up, we need to tell them how nice their Digi stamps are. This Digi stamp was only 99 cents. I thought it was a great deal. I went ahead and got a couple more flowers. And I've colored a couple of them, and I will show them to you here in a little bit. Okie doke. This was the wild rose. I never talk about products, but this was exciting. So, okay, so that was the pink, and then here's some violet. And this looks like kind of the back part of the petal. So I thought, oh, okay, well, let's just get that a little darker. But see how messy I'm going? Oh, it's so fun. Doesn't look good at all. I'm out of the lines. I'm blotchy. It looks like me when I'm trying to run a race. I'm race outside the lines and I get all blotchy. This is all theory because I don't do races, so. Here we go. And then just a little light blue. Looks like a magnolia. I think it was a wild rose. But it can be anything you want. It's art. Oops, come on. Load up. Since this is copy paper, not coffee paper, but copy paper, you may have a little trouble with it wanting to crumple on you, so. So if you do a really hard circle like that, you may end up having some wrinkles. That's what I said. Okay, so now we've got these guys, right? We're going to want to line those up. I do have a frame already figured out, I think. Yep. I have a frame with a dot of ink. And that is where we're going to be gluing things together. Oh, there's several dots of ink. So that's our cheat line. That's our glue line. This little guy, you know, it's cold in here. I don't have the heat on in this room much because I have so many lights. And so I don't have much heat in here. And I think this glue, which is the art glitter glue that does not like cold, does not like it. Oh, did you guys notice how Mr. Producer, when he made his card, used the tweezers? I was so surprised. We're going to put this on the vellum piece. Now I have lots of little dots on it from the pink. And then we're going to be able to put that on top of here, lining it up nice. I think it looks better when it's lined up. And we have one more trick for gluing this guy down. Don't want to put too much on it. That's one thing about these tiny little nozzles, that you don't have to put too much down. There we go. So you glue it twice to get it down. One little thing I should have done. And that was cut this guy off, but I didn't. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted at all. Never mind. I should have cut this off first, though. So what we'll do is we'll come... Nope, that's too big. I want him trimmed off just a little bit. Because I want to wrap that vellum back behind it. Went off track. There we go. That way we can glue that down or tape it down. And then we've got another place to... You can just fold it, but I did just fold it. But I needed the bottom piece to come off so that I could fold over it. Otherwise it was going to get chunky. Good question. Yes, he did use lots of tools. You are absolutely right. He used tweezers, pokey tool, knife. Oh, all sorts of good stuff. See, do I want? This is a little bit uneven, so let's go ahead and just trim you up. Not the frame so much. Right next to it, just some whiskers. I'll cut some whiskers off this side too. It was a little... I can't cut straight, it's okay. Then we'll just stick that guy down. I guess I could have cut... On this one, I think I left a little more room. So you have a little more of the white. But it's a... maybe one way or the other. I think that's just so pretty, that great big thing. You know, keeping you guys trendy, you know, a big image. Have you seen the big butterflies that are right now very hip? Those big butterflies, we're keeping you on trend with big flowers. Here's a little purple and V04. How about that? We'll go, oh, I didn't get very straight either. Add a little bit to the back, or the back of the petal was coming around. Alcohol kind of streaky. It's kind of streaky on this stuff, so there may be some ways to avoid that. I don't have that answer. It used to be that when we didn't have alcohol markers, but we just had markers, we'd do circles, but I don't think that even works with this. So, but I thought this gave just a little definition, a little fun. I didn't do it on all of that. How about that? And then some with some of the little dots. Make some of them darker. When I inked this, I left this open on purpose so that it would have some white in the middle. It was on purpose. How about that? And then I'm going to bring in the white pen. I can always do more of that. I didn't alter all of them. So, because there's so many. So if you do use this particular thing, I thought it looked better to not go too OCD and do them all. But doing some white on the darker circles and just varied around, I thought it looked kind of good. This one I painted and then I went, oh, why didn't I just use a white pen? That would have been really smart. And there you go. And I'm not going to put a sentiment. I did put a small one on here. I think it looks kind of like a little tag sitting there. I thought it looked pretty good. And I don't know. I don't know if I would want something big. Ooh, I don't know. I'm open. But I think I'll just leave it like this because I think it's kind of pretty just like that. So that's how I made this cool card. Well, thank you, Miss Linda. Now, this one was kind of a throwback. So that was one way to color vellum, right? You didn't color vellum except for a little bit of alcohol marker. So that was pretty fast with some blending, and I didn't have to do a good job. So we like that. You could also, when you're doing the blending, I don't know, there's a lot of trend too where you do stenciling for some subtle patterns and texture. I think that would work too. Even on something like this, and you just do some different colors or some different layers and things like that. I think it would be pretty. So this one is an old style ribbon attachment, and I don't remember, I don't know if any of you remember this old style kind of thing or not. Georgie O'Keeffe, that's a great idea. It does kind of look like a Georgie O'Keeffe, doesn't it? Kind of big and in your face. Anyway, this card then, I did the coloring on the back of the vellum that was printed in my inkjet printer with the Digi stamp from 3 Room Studios with Sandy Boone. So Sandy Boone comes on and she sees this and goes, oh, that looks familiar. It's because it's her product. So this one on the vellum, when you print or ink, stamp, print, or emboss, you're going to have a darker side and you're going to have a lighter side. That's part of the fun with vellum, is because you can mute colors or you can have them quite bright. You can always tell which one it is, I think. This one looks like, this is the side I did it on. It's still quite bright because I used bright colors. If you start with really very, very light colors, it's not going to come through as well. You'll have something that's very, very pastel and very soft, but which is fine. But if you want something with a little pop, you're going to want to start with some inks that are a little more bold. So I think what I'll do is flip this guy and show you how I did it, because it doesn't take but a few minutes here. So good old Copics, I'm going to go ahead and do the wedge because it's faster. Again, go out of the lines if you want to go fast and feel kind of organic. Go ahead and go out of the lines. It's not going to be that big a deal, especially with the lighter colors. If you don't want to be real organic, slow down, and just take a little more time. The one thing I liked about these stamps for this is the line is nice and defined. I didn't have to, these are nice, big, broad, open areas, so it's really easy to do. See? It's not very bright, is it? Let's see. I think I might go a little darker. And I'll go brush this time. You don't have to worry if you're doing the color inside the whole plane, though, about it being on the line or not, just when you're going next to the outside line. I wonder where, oh, I did it this way, okay. I'm just starting at the base and going out with lifting it up at the end. I'm not proficient enough to even make comment about it, really. That darkened it, though, didn't it? So maybe just add a little bit. Sawtooth up here. It is fun feeling. It's a fun project. Sawtooth, is that a term? I don't know. Where did I find the Digi stamp? Athena, I got it from 3 Room Studio, which is owned by Sandy Boone, who is one of our guests. Our esteemed, highly esteemed guest. I did find myself doing this one action where I came down where I was and then going off to the side just a little bit and pulling it out. Oops, I got it in the green. Which I thought was, I didn't do it on purpose, but I did notice it was kind of a good idea. Surprise. Kind of surprised myself. So, let's see if you can see that. It's just like going like this almost. And that way you didn't have to worry about missing a spot, I guess. I thought it turned out. Whoa! Whoa, I almost went out of the whole thing. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I think they're really cute at 5K. I do. This does dry pretty fast, the alcohol. So that's a bonus, isn't it? Then we'll do some spring greens here. This one's really light. Massive. I think of Copic sometimes with just those little like lawn fawn things, and they're so small, and I'm not very good at it. But this has a lot of nice room. It's kind of fun to take the chisel and get close to it and then come back with the brush too. At least I think it's good. And when it's on the back, then you don't see the lines as much, I don't think. We'll investigate. But I think that's true. Then I got a little darker green to add to it because that always looks good. Oh, this isn't very much darker. I think that's supposed to be an open place, but I don't think it really matters. We'll just make it dark. Not much variety there. I did bring in a darker green still. I think we'll see some action on this one. Patty going to bed? Night night. Hope you're doing better. How about we just make most of this one of this really bright green? Ooh. Kind of hard with that scene. But and we'll see. I put some green around the outside here. I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, that's nice and vivid. I like it. I like it just fine. Okie doke. Let's just go with it. Okay, so there's no glue involved in this one. I just took a hole punch. This is something that you can do. We used to do it with invitations. It was very elegant in the day. See if I can get this guy to stay on here. Then I found this piece of ribbon, this lonely piece of ribbon. Who needs to find purpose. And I'm just the crafter to help it. And you come in, so you're going to go across the front, across the back, and have a little bit on the ends. So we'll be able to trim some off, but we'll start with this. And you go in from the top. I don't think you want anything too huge for this project, for this kind of tie. Okay, so that's about even, right? Yep. So then we'll flip it over. I don't want to get it dirty. So then we flip it over. And we've got a nice big hole here, a nice big aperture to work in. And so you have to hold your tongue just right. Pull that one string down so that you expose the outside of the hole. And put that side in. And now this side, see how the aperture is? You've got the opening on the outside. Then you put this little piece like that. You are going to have a crisscross in the back, and it's not going to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but it's not going to be horrid either. And that's how you tie one of those. And then you just trim its little ears. So there you go. And then you can just do I thought it looked good with a great big sentiment. I did it in black. Oh, I don't know what kind of ink. Black something. Something. And then because it was on this non-porous vellum, it stayed wet. And I did clear embossing on top of it. And so I think it looked good. I don't know what I will do on this one, but I don't think there's anything that you need to see to have that done. But look how bright and springy that is. I like it. I like bright and springy, especially when I'm freezing. So those are my 3 cards for the night. I think they turned out kind of cute, very bright, very springy, not hard, using Digi stamps, using the properties of the vellum to make it make some different kind of looks. Here we go. There we go. We can do another one. And I have one more. So you can get 4 out using the whole big side. Where's this one? Where are you? I don't know. Maybe I used it. But you can use... What the heck kind of deal is this? Is this maybe from 2 different printings? Oh, well, I'll deal with... Oh, look. Must have been. Okay, so you can get 4 cards, 4 great big cards out of one unaltered Digi stamp, which I think is really cool. Printing on vellum and printing on, I just printed on cardstock, or you can print on cardstock or copy paper. It depends on what you want. And have some fun with it. I think it's cool. I do. I have some more that I will be sharing in our patron page. One is very, oh my gosh, one is very involved, but I went all mixed media on it. So, and one looks like a bit of a, oh, that's why I'm missing one. One looks like a bit of a church window, except at Easter. So anyway, those will be there for you probably Thursday, and for fun supporters and above, and it'll be fun. Oh, I'm gonna do some more of these. I really liked it. I just think of all the different things you could do just for this great big Georgia O'Coof. You could put it on watercolor paper. I think I'd use kind of slippery watercolor paper, not the real rough. But then you could paint it, I think. Ooh, gosh, so much fun. We do want to thank these patrons for helping us keep us on the air. We have some marvelous patrons. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you Saturday for our all-patron Zoom call. Don't know what that's going to be like, but I'm envisioning it. And all it is, we're just going to really hang out. But have some cards to be working on if you want, because we do want to donate a boatload of cards to whomever you want. We don't send them here. I don't send them out. It's one-stop shopping. It's right for keep it in your neighborhood or your donation site, whatever you want to do. So, yep, you guys are awesome. And there's a bunch. I think a whole bunch came on to see Steven's Mr. Producer's video. And he got so many comments. And Mr. Gunn came in to say, hey, can I see those comments? And I showed him and I said, I sometimes get a like or two, but look, he's got like 20 some comments. What am I doing wrong? No, it's okay. I really think it was cool that you guys rallied around him. I said, my gosh, how are you going to get in this room with that big head? So thank you guys so much. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday and seeing the Club Fun people on the Facebook group. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Except this. We do have a new guest on Friday. Kendra Morgan will be with us. She seems really nice. And I think she's going to be really fun. She's got a good Southern accent and from Florida, Northern Florida. And she's a teacher and she's real nervous. So come out and cheer her on. It is a weird place to be. Craft roulette is not for the faint of heart. All right. Christine, I hope you're feeling better. Grandma Gay, it's good to see you. To all, a good night. Love you all. Take care. Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.